All right, we can get ready. Mr. Mitchell, you there? I see you in the call in the Zoom.
Getting the PowerPoint together.
Does somebody else want to take the reins?
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Guest, you're the co-chair. Would you like to call our meeting to order?
Sure. If we're able to move forward, I'd like to call the meeting into order.
Okay, let's call the roll. Shakia, yes.
Present.
Dr. Lynn Aniti.
Present.
Sybil Talley.
Present.
Dr. John Herring.
Present.
Charles Storm Mitchell. I can see him, but I think he's having an audio issue. Miss Carmen Hollowell Ferguson. Miss Elizabeth T. Miller.
Present.
Awesome. So here's an agenda. I think our meeting will be pretty brief, but the purpose of our meeting today is to discuss our mission statement. Nathan, Dana, and I work together to kind of go over some of the examples that we have from other cities and also ideas that you all sent in. And we're also just going to go over our survey flyer, which is going to be distributed, if not by the end of this week, next week. And we don't have any new business at this meeting yet.
So Marissa, would you put up the two versions of the mission statement that we came up with so the group can debate?
Yep, that's the next slide.
Fantastic.
Mr. Mitchell, it looks like he's trying to say something.
No, I'm here. I'm listening in. I apologize. I am still in the process of a mediation on the other phone, so I may have to go here in a moment or two, but carry on. Did you receive my email this morning about the possibility of going back and revisiting the introduction to the HCLC that was on the website? Looking at the introduction that was on the website, I think it was a month or so ago, it pretty well identified what we are responsible for providing.
Yes.
And I felt whoever put that together did a very concise job of identifying what we do.
Yes, most definitely. And that that information that we went over at the last meeting is still on the website. I think that we were going to add a mission statement to also be there in addition.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that actually it seems that prior to the most recent, I visited the website yesterday, and apparently it's been modified a little bit. And it looks like the introduction that was there a month ago actually did a better job of identifying what we do.
Okay, I will go to the website and double check that. I know that our website has been under construction and there have been a lot of edits and changes to it, but my understanding was that the only thing we were changing on the website was to add this one part. So I can pull our website up here and it still has, I think it still has all of that same information, like who we are, the historic research survey, source survey, board member names, planning and zoning staff members, and then there's just this one part here that says mission statement, and so we're just going to add that one part.
I understand. Well, what I was trying to say is that it looked like a month ago, prior to making the modifications to the website, the first 2 or 3 lines of the introduction actually did a great job of identifying what we're responsible for. But
Okay.
unfortunately, I did not make a copy of it.
Okay. I'll partner with our design team. And by design team, I mean Dana Gray. So, and I'll figure out what the previous website said and see what the changes were and if we can pull that back out and perhaps incorporate that into our mission statement also then.
Great, great.
Okay. Sounds good. So we went through yesterday and we came up with 2 examples. Do you guys want me to read them to you or do you want to read them on the screen?
Let me just explain the differences really quickly, Marissa. So the text is the same and the goals are the same. However, the way we phrase the 2 versions of this are a little different. So the first example, it says, you know, the mission of the commission is to do these things. And so it's basically taking a kind of, I guess it's a third person. Forgive me, it's been a minute since I've been in a grammar English class, but I believe that's the third person talking about what they do. Whereas the second draft of it below takes sort of a first person viewpoint and says we're the group and we're going to do these things. And so it was just a little bit more affirmative. And I thought it was just an interesting way to present the information. So, but the specific, you know, bullet points in the mission statements are the same. So any thoughts or critiques are certainly welcome. And these were emailed out to everybody.
Nathan, I just noticed one other difference. Between the 2 in the first statement, include in the first bullet, makes note that we'll develop, whereas in the second one, we're going to revitalize. So I just wanted to call that out as well, because that definitely has different, semantics for folks too.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. We we intended for that to say revitalize on the top one too. We just forgot to cut and paste that one. So thank you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was a difference that you wanted to. Okay.
We thought revitalize was a better word because we're not going to actually do any developing ourselves, this group, but we could certainly put forth some efforts and help for revitalization. I thought it was just a better word there.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no English major by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the second one is more efficient, concise, and grammatically correct than the first one. I like it better. There's just a list, but that's just my opinion.
Not that I have a vote, but and I thought that the sort of first person saying, that we are going to do these things and more of an affirmative statement was a really kind of refreshing and maybe invigorating is too fancy of a word to use, but I just thought it was really, I really enjoyed how it was more of an affirmation than a description.
Well, my vote is for the second one.
Okay.
I like the second one as well.
I concur as well.
I'm in favor of the second one.
Is there any of the bullet points here? 2 questions. Number 1, we can make this into one coherent statement or leave it as bullet points. I don't think there's I don't have any particular preference or suggestion there. Whatever you guys like is good. Is there anything that you think we might have missed or could phrase better?
Nathan, I think you've done a great job. I think what we might do, though, I'll throw this out for consideration by just saying the City of South Fulton Historic and Cultural Landmarks Commission, or rather than saying will, just flat out say is responsible for identifying, preserving, and revitalizing the city's historic districts and landmarks, fostering civic pride in the past, promoting. In other words, go ahead and make it I apologize for not having the grammatical terminology off the top of my head, but making it a proactive type statement. I think you've done a great job with the bullet points, and we just need to, my suggestion would be to move it one step ahead and just say, we are responsible for, and then make it a, changing these adverbs to verbs by saying identifying, preserving, revitalizing, fostering, promoting, encouraging, and provide a means for citizen education to encourage preservation.
Marissa,
I think it's excellent.
Yeah, Mr. Mitchell, we actually discussed that point yesterday when we had our meeting together to do that. And I'm trying to think of, there was something we brought up that we didn't do that, but I can't remember why now. Marissa, do you remember why we didn't do that? But because I know we discussed that, but I don't have, that's fine with me, certainly.
Yeah, I think that we were saying just because we're responsible for it doesn't necessarily mean that, I feel like so I think that's a great idea also to say the commission is responsible for, but I think that we were saying just because it's your responsibility doesn't necessarily mean that you're all the way dedicated to. And so we felt that will would be a stronger commitment instead of saying you're just responsible for it. But I also think that, the commission is responsible for is also a good idea. So it's up to the commission to let us know what it is that feels good and right to you all.
My preference is to leave it at will, even though we know that we are, charged with these things, but we also want to make sure that with our mission statement that, we're inclusive of the community support too. So I don't want to, make it seem as if we solely will be doing that, because we do rely on our community to help us, fulfill some of these commitments that we have in the mission statement. So.
I kind of like kind of a mixture of what we're talking about here. This is fine, but now that Storm has brought up responsible, I don't really want to say we're responsible because, we can only do so much. So I would like to possibly say we are dedicated to identifying, fostering, promoting, or we are committed to identifying, etc. But this is fine with me. I won't argue about it. I just, maybe dedicated or committed.
I really like the use of the word dedicated. We did not think of that one yesterday. I personally like that one. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, and then putting, changing the identify, because, here we're looking at we're going to do it. But if we were to change it to identifying, fostering, promoting, then we're already like working on it. It's in the present tense kind of more than we're going to.
So I'm making some edits on my other screen. I'm just going to read this out and just let me know how it sounds. So I put, the City of South Fulton Historic and Landmarks Commission is dedicated to identifying, preserving, and revitalizing the city's historic districts and landmarks, fostering civic pride in the past, promoting the use of historic districts and landmarks for the enrichment of the community, encouraging preservation of historic integrity and land use and development planning, and providing citizenry education to encourage preservation.
Sounds good.
That sounds pretty nice.
I like that a whole lot.
Do we like the bullet point format or just to make a paragraph format out of it? It's obviously a very long sentence, but that's fine.
I like the bullet points because it's easier for people to read, straight to the point. Whereas if it's a paragraph, I kind of feel they may skip over some key points.
I like the bullet points as well. It's easier, it's concise, easy to look at and read.
Right.
I'm going to, let's see.
And then can you put up the complete statement once you as edited, complete?
I'm actually going to send it out to everybody
Okay.
right now.
Thank you.
So it's in your email right now, but Marissa will have it to put in the chat or to add to a slide, and I'll also put it in the chat here.
Or Nathan, do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I can do that. Let me see here. Share screen. Which one's going to let me share?
It's at the bottom. It's the green square.
Yeah, I think. All right. Let me know if we can see a screen right now.
Yes.
Perfect. It's probably tiny. I'm gonna make a new might not have helped, but let me see here. I don't need this statement, this whole thing. So can everyone read that?
Got it.
Yes.
I wonder if, and I know this word is correct. I wonder if we should put the in front of this. No, it doesn't fit the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been a very productive discussion. This is really, really nice.
Okay, this is a very particular picky thing that I'm saying, but are you going to scoot the second part of the sentences over so they're not under the bullet point?
Oh, yeah. That's just because I made the font large.
Oh, okay. No, I just didn't know if this was like the final thing. I was like, okay, that bugs me.
No. It will look perfect once we paste on the website pending approval. Yeah, no. You can
Thank
ask
you.
Dana and
Sorry about
Marissa. I am a stickler for those kind of little things. Probably to the point that they curse me under their breath. But yeah. So here we are. If the group, I don't know if the group probably should vote to accept this mission statement, but if you guys like it, we could get it on the website by the end of the day, probably.
I like it. I still like it.
Well, then can we get a motion then to approve the mission statement as currently presented?
I move that we accept the mission statement as presented, considering all editorial concerns are refined and corrected.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Best of my knowledge, it stands approved. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Marissa. And Dana, if you're out there.
Do we have any
Thank
other
you.
items to discuss today?
We were also going to go over the, we're also going to show them the HCLC flyer. So I am pulling that back up, and here we go.
And I'll make a note, if we go to the, if anyone takes some time, go to the Historic Commission website. The survey is live. Anyone can take it, and I'll make the announcement, since this is on topic, that anyone who watches this meeting and is now discovering that we have a survey for historic resources, please go to our website and take it.
Most definitely.
So Marissa, this is getting sent to communications for advertising on the website in our newsfeed, correct?
Yeah, all social media outlets that we have, I think they're going to put it on the Nextdoor app. And then I think that we're also going to offer it to some of our council members so they can include it in their newsletters.
Yeah. And if any of the board members here want a copy of this, we can send it to you to email to your friends or neighbors or whatever, community groups or circles you're in. This is obviously public information and you're on the board. So if it would be helpful to have a copy of this yourself, just let us know.
Yeah, so we need help distributing it to make sure that, we get as much input and valuable feedback as possible.
I would
And
like
we're
to,
gonna send you guys a PDF version of the flyer, and the link on there is active, I think. So you might be able to click on the link and get to the survey, but we'll also send a link to the survey in the email with the flyer that we're sending.
That would be awesome.
Dr. Herring, did you have a question?
no, I was just indicating that I do want to get a copy so I can assist in distributing.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the commission?
I don't
All
have
right.
anything. I'm just excited to see the survey and the mission. And maybe at our next meeting, will we review what responses we have back?
Definitely, we can
Okay.
add that as an item.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Well, Marissa, Nathan, Dana, thank you very much for your help in putting this together. Look forward to the next meeting. Hopefully we will have some feedback. And again, if there is nothing else for this group, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn our HCLC meeting.
A second.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great month, and let us know if there's something that pops up that we can help with. Oh, by the way, there is one thing I call your attention to. If you have a chance, go out on the this is University of Georgia website, and they have an archive of historic aerial photographs back to 1938. And there are several of those photographs that have sections of the city of South Fulton included in those photographs. And it's very, very interesting to see how far we've come in such a short amount of time. So it's quite interesting to be able to orient yourself and figure out where you are on those maps and find out what actually was in the neighborhood where you are living now. So take care, talk soon, and holler if we can help with anything.
All righty.
Yeah, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you all
everyone.
so much.
Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.